copy of a police report, or if you have general police department questions, please press 2.
Yes, ma'am. Can I make a records request to you? I've been trying to. No. There was an incident. I've been trying to send it, but your email is kind of funny. I tried to send a records request last week, and it did something, and then eventually somebody sent me some things back where I gotta go into a portal and all this, that, and the third, and I really wasn't interested in that. I've sent your office a couple of emails, and you haven't got them. I'm Blue Steel. I'm either Blue Steel Foia request at Gmail or Blue Steel Skip.
Yeah, so we did get the email.
Okay, so
I'm pretty sure they sent you a response saying that you have to fill out the request form.
yeah, I don't have to fill out a request form or any of that. I just need to know if I need to send a money order. I don't have to divulge all that information. I can do that all anonymously. What I want to do is I just want to know if I owe you some money. I'll send you a money order. I do records requests all the time. People contact me and have issues, not just in Colorado, everywhere. But what I want to do is if I can get that and there's no cost, you can just email it to my email like I said. Or if I need to, I can send you a money order. I don't have to divulge who I am and my phone number and my home address or any of that stuff, right? Isn't that how the records request goes? You work in the records bureau, right?
Yeah,
I get hassled all the time, and I'm not trying to be mean to you, love. It's just eventually you become desensitized. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that falls on you, but I don't have to submit anything. All I have to do is submit my records request, which I did, and all I have to do is submit that, and then you tell me either it's going to be free of charge, which it never is, or what I'm going to have to pay. And then I send you a money order with, pay to the state of Colorado or whoever. Is that all I need to do? Is my records request good enough then?
Hi, this is Dr. Reyes by Police. How can I help you?
Hey, now, did a records request, right? I do them all the time. And
Okay.
I don't have to fill out a form and divulge my home phone number and address and all that. I send it in a universal format as I normally do to any state I require records from. And usually all they say is it's free and it's sent to my email with no questions asked, and a thank you is always sent back by me. Or it's a stipulation, it costs X amount of dollars, which it always does. So, I don't know, what part of that I have to do, but I know the records process, and you don't have to fill out no forms or anything.
Okay.
Or
Do
go
you allow
to.
a records process?
It doesn't matter. It's universal. It's called Foia, Freedom of Information Act, and the federal law supersedes any state law. As a matter of fact, the state law usually mirrors exactly to the federal request. Now I know I live in a more liberal place. I don't ever get this, but I understand it's Colorado. So what I'm doing is I'm making a records request, and I just want to know if you won't grant that, then I just go on to the Attorney General's office of an Inspector General. I have to do it all the time. It won't usually be that much of an indifference. And they'll send you an email. They usually forward my email back to the local police department for me. And then I get my record. Or I get
Okay.
I don't want to have to sign into a portal and all this, that. That's not the way it's supposed to go. However y'all got it working there for you, that's good. But I know better.
Okay. Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah, I would like my record processor acknowledged.
Okay, well, I acknowledge you, and I acknowledge your phone call. We have a process for you to give your reports, so if you don't want to abide by them, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so am I being recorded?
Would you like to be?
No, I'm just gonna tell you I am recording you because this is in my state, I'm allowed to do that whenever I interact with the government. So
Okay.
I'm wanting your name
Officer Reyes, R-E-Y-E-S.
and what part of the Records Bureau process are you?
I'm sorry?
What part of the Records Bureau process are you?
Well,
Office.
currently I'm in the records division,
Okay.
records personnel.
And I have to fill out this form you say in order to be compliant to receive a record.
That would be our policy, yes, sir.
That's your
correct.
policy, but that's not the law, and I'm asking that you honor the law, sir, before I have to call the law, which would be the Office of Inspector General of the Attorney General's office. And I do this all the time whenever I get static or blowback.
Okay.
So Brighton, Colorado is no different than any other place on the planet, okay?
Right.
In the Western Hemisphere, in the country of the United States of America. So
Okay.
you're telling me, Officer Reyes, that you come to the command decision that you will not process my records request.
I'm not saying that we won't, but there is a process.
That's not part, that's your policy. My record, you got my record request. She already acknowledged it. I'm recording all of this. I have already told you it's a matter of the record. What I will forward to the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Now, what I'm doing is no different than I do in any other place in the United States. And you're telling me that if I don't fill out a format and divulge all the information, that I am not due a record.
By my understanding and our records personnel's understanding, that would be correct.
Can I speak to the chief of the Records Bureau?
You mean our supervisor?
That would be the Records Bureau chief, yes, the sworn individual.
She's currently busy, but I can give you her contact information.
No, I listen, I do this all the time. And while you're bucking, I know your officer acted like shit, okay? I know that. Jay Long, whatever his name is, on that Monday at 3 p.m., I know he acted like garbage. That's why I want this records request. And
No, I get that. I'm not denying it.
I shouldn't have to divulge. I shouldn't even, the person that would have went and got the record was static from your department already. So that's already one issue. And I know this is a duty to intervene state. I do know that much about Colorado. And that is what you are not doing right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you actually practice and know the law, but that's what you are doing.
I do my best.
No, that's not the equivalent to an answer. That's a yes or a no. Are you not intervening in processing my records request due to an incident?
Well,
Be-
this is
Because we cannot make a complaint. We cannot make a complaint until we have the incident. And the incident is on your body-worn camera of Officer Jay Long.
Well, I'm not saying that we're not going to release any information to you, but I'm just saying that there is a process that we have to follow.
And that's to complete this form. Is that what you're talking about? Where I have to sign into a portal and all that? That's not how the records... That's all right, Officer Reyes. My next call will be to the Inspector General, and I will be referring this video that I have just made with you.
Okay.
And that's not copacetic. And please, the incident that I'm referring to, I'm asking at this time on the record that it be saved and that it not be scavenged.
No, all these reports that we take, they're all saved.
No, that's what they all say. All law enforcement, all Leos say that all the time. And then after the fact, mysteriously, the records are lost. I'm just telling you, I do this all the time, and this is how it goes. When somebody doesn't want something from me, when doesn't want to give it, I don't have to fill out any paper to get a record. All I have to do, I can make the records request to your janitor. If he's a state employee or a government employee, if he works for an agency, you know what I'm talking about. If you work in records, you know how it works. I don't have to fill out no paperwork. All I have to do is make the request. You know that. You know that. I'm sure in your policy and procedure manual, which I'll make a records request for, it'll state that. I'm sure whenever I talk to the city attorney, it'll state that. Because I already went to the mayor's office about your records procedure. I already been there. I was not happy. That's why I shotgunned this email out to Lottie Dottie and everybody. Because it's an indifference that you people have already. I see it. You're about a town of about 40,000, right? Right? And you got problems. I see them. They're on this video, and I want it. This person has empowered me to advocate for them, and they want the video of this incident.
Okay, so looking at the request, it looks like it did process on February 26th, 2025. Well, right now we're about 14 days out though from the request.
Okay, 14 days is copacetic for me. As long as I have an idea and you're complicit, I'll buy into that. So in 14...
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, sir. Go ahead.
So you go ahead. I yield to you. You go ahead.
I apologize. I just want to confirm your email address. Would it be Blue Steel, Foair, so Foia request at gmail.com? Is that you?
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So I do have that request, and it started on February 6th, but it's just not something that I can expedite.
That's okay. I understand. Listen, I understand you probably have work in the queue. I understand that. And that's in 14 days from now, approximately. That's fine for me. Now, I would like to ask you one thing. What is the limit for your time? Like some states are 10 days or whatever. What's the limit for yours?
Well, right now, from the time of the request, it's about 14 days out.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. So 14 days, I look to hear back from y'all. And thank you for your time and effort. I appreciate it.
Would you, my supervisor might have further information for you. Would you like to talk to her?
I think that all I asked for is the body-worn camera and the dash camera. You tell me that it takes about you have the job requested, and it takes about 14 days for you to get back to me. Right?
Sir, my supervisor would like to talk to you. I'm going to transfer you over to her.
Sir, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for holding. For your request, there is a written statement we have to have that has a pecuniary gain statement on it that has to be signed to get that processed. Did you receive that?
Okay, so I have to sign a form, and I don't.
That's what I'm asking. Did you receive the forms?
I'm gonna tell you like this here. You are a government employee, correct? I'm just asking because I'm recording this, and I don't want to,
And I'm just.
I don't want to make myself liable. I was on the phone with a law enforcement officer, and I can record him without no liability. But I just needed to know if you're a government employee, a member of an agency. Otherwise, I have to cut this off. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to break the law.
I work for the city of Brighton.
Okay, so you're good. All right, so
I'm just asking, did you receive the records request form and the digital evidence request form with that email? If not, I will forward that on to you. We have to have those filled out because there's a statement on there. It's a pecuniary gain statement, which by law we have to have it signed. And what it's showing is that it's not going to be used for any monetary gain.
That's not what I mean. I don't do this for monetary gains, but that's not the way any record. That's not the way any record is obtained. It doesn't matter if I put it on YouTube and make $1 million off of it.
Actually, it's a CRS. If you want to write this down, I can tell you what it is. It's the Colorado So CRS 24-72-305.5. It says provide that all records custodians shall deny any person access of criminal justice records unless the statement is signed which affirms that such records shall not be used for the direct solicitation of business for pecuniary gain. I just need that form filled out, which is just the other step to this process, and then we'll
No, let me ask you this here. I'm just going to ask you a question because, and I understand you're not the city attorney. I understand that, which I deal with these people all the time. You're telling me in this great state of Colorado that if I wanted a record, it doesn't matter, I can't put it on the YouTube? Is that what you're telling me? I can't put it, because all forms of news are monetary gains. Any news agency. See, I go to these new places. Now, I've never been to Brighton before, but I got somebody that called.
This is for the whole state of Colorado. This is not just for Brighton. So anywhere, anytime you've done a request, we have to have that signed.
That I'm not going to put it on a social media platform.
No, it says that you're not going to use it for pecuniary gain.
And that would be money.
Correct.
Yeah, and so any form of media is money. Media, money, advertising. You're telling me if I get a record, now you're on the record now, because I was all ready to send this to the Officer of Inspector General of the State Attorney's Office there in Colorado, because I have to do this kind of stuff all the time. Now you're telling me that in the great state of Colorado, that media outlets cannot put this video on, I'm talking about any form of news, your nightly local news, couldn't put this on.
That's not what I said, sir. What I'm saying is the record that you're going to receive, you're not doing this for pecuniary gain. But what it means is you're not objectively using this to generate money for yourself. It says the formal word is often used in a legal or financial context. So this is the state of Colorado. You can look it up. I can look up the full statute.
Well, what if I'm not in the state of Colorado? I couldn't be held and bound by law of another state. It's not even in the same federal district.
If you ask for records in any other state, you have to follow the laws of that state. If I would request a record out of California, I would have to abide by the laws for California's law. And these are police records. These are a different level of records than just a straightforward public record.
Now, pituitary gain, that could be, I could be suing you for your actions of your officers. Because that's why I want this. This is, someone called me that got accosted by this officer, J. Long, at 3 p.m. that Monday of the date. And I want that record of the body-worn camera, but
we just have to have a signature.
If I sell this to the news, I'm going to make money.
Okay.
If I send it to the news, they're going to make money. So what you're inevitably doing is you're trapping me off in a charge. That's not
what I said, sir. That is not what I said. I told you the Colorado State statute. We just need to have that form filled out.
What is the pituitary gain, though? I'm going to ask you to define what pituitary, what that gain is, what that means in legalese.
I can look up the full statute. I can look the full
No,
statute.
I don't want the statute because I just want.
And that's what it falls under, and that's what I'm trying to explain to you, sir. Is that's what it falls under is that state statute. I'm trying to do this right so we can get this released to you.
Well, he told me that I had to fill out a form and all this first. I done been to around the mayor and all that. You know, I wasn't happy with that to begin with. So let me ask you this here. Let me ask you. So I'm going to be sent a form that says that I can't make no money off of this. Is that what it is? And then in your interpretation,
that is, it doesn't.
just because I say a word, I'm asking the definition in your.
This keeps from people from coming in and taking these records, taking them and then going to the people and processing it to make money off of the things that have happened to them. This is a protection piece for them. You 100% can go ahead and look at this. And it says that the other statute that we fall underneath that for this is the 24-72-309. And it says it affirms that you shall not use the requested information.
Because I'm going to tell you, hey, love, I might need to just call the Attorney General office and have them get the record for me. Usually what they do is they submit the record request for me to the agency that is like, you know, trying to, because I am going to put this on YouTube, because your officer acted like straight garbage, okay?
I don't know what you're looking at, sir. I don't
Oh,
know
and
what
I'm
you-
making a record of this. Like I already told you whenever you got on the phone, this sounds hokey as whatever, because you're telling me, now, I might not make no money off of it because I'm not monetized. I don't do this for $1. I get a VA check. But somebody else that I'm going to give this story to, they're going to probably make money off of it. And you can't have me to sign something that is going to indemnify my guilt. I mean, there's no way that I would sign something like that and I'm still do the record due to your state
All I'm
law.
saying is that the form, if you could review the forms, if this is in this, and you can take the forms, I was just asking if you had received the forms that it shows, because you're requesting digital evidence and the paper records, correct?
I'm wanting a video of the cop's body-worn camera mistreating this person on the side of the road. I'm going to file a complaint, but the procedure is first you get the record, which is the body-worn camera of your officer acting like garbage, and his car camera's involved also. So I'm going to want that before I file a complaint, and I am going to file a complaint. That's my intent, but I have to have the record first.
I just need you to review.
And I am going to put it on the YouTube. That's what I do.
I was just asking if you received the forms. If you had not received the forms, I was going to forward them.
But
on
I
your
have to
email.
sign this form before. This is state law that I have to sign. I understand it's a law in California. I mean, in Colorado. I understand that, but I shouldn't be subjected to that. If I want a record, which is going to go on social media, it's probably going to hit a lot of major news platforms. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to want that record, and now either I got to sign it. I don't have to sign no paper nowhere on the whole United States of America. I do this all over the place. And I know beyond a reason of a doubt that I don't have to sign one paper anywhere to get any record from any state that says that I'm eligible to get a record. Now I can understand some states have laws where if you're not a resident of the county, you can't get the record, but Colorado ain't that. And understand too, you have a duty to intervene. If you hear me being mistreated in my records process under Foia and under Colorado, you have a duty to intervene and stop that. And if you know that I'm not really legally supposed to sign no legally binding paper, then you have a duty to intervene to pass me that record. And that's the business about that. And that's the business I'll be talking to the Attorney General, Office of Inspector General about. Because I have to do this all the time. It's never easy. You understand me? Because they don't want it. What your officer did out there on the road, is pretty vile. And I need that record. And if I don't get that record, and I got to sign some kind of paper to get that, there's going to be hell to play on my end. I ain't even started. And I know this went all around Brighton because I tried to get a record from you, and I couldn't believe that I had to fill out all these papers like you said.
Sir, I was just asking if you had received the request.
No, I haven't. And I don't want it. I just want the record. And if I have to pay some kind of fee, which there's always a fee, because there's always a fee whenever you're trying to get something somebody don't want you to have. Now, the person that this happened to, I can have them pull in there and talk to you. But they're not ready for that yet.
And I respect that.
I mean, a crime occurred. This person in the lease has color of law violations under malfeasance. His supervisor came on scene and made him unhandcuff him. So that's a false arrest. Now, I want my record or I'm going to raise hell, and I don't want to sign no legally binding paper that don't mean shit to me. I'm just telling you, and you know it don't, and you know that in order to get the record, I ain't got to sign no legally binding paper. Because eventually this is going to be played out for money, and that would make me liable. And so you can't make everybody that gets a record liable. I can make a strong argument of opposition for that.
Okay, well, I respect you.
I want to speak to the chief of the police before I go to the inspector general's office. I really do.
And have you left a message for him?
No, I know that there's someone there from administration during the business hours, because I'll do a records request on who's there every swinging Richard. I get forced to do stuff like this all the time, and I want you to understand something. I'm not at you, but you can't tell me that I have to sign some legally binding paper because I'm fixing to get a record, and of course it's going to go to the media, and of course somebody's going to get $1 out of it. And I don't want to be indicted on some pocket warrant 2 years from now before the statute of limitations on some crazy shit runs out. Lady, I get played 7 ways this Sunday. And you're telling me that I can't get a record unless I sign something that just clearly makes me a criminal for asking for a record and receiving a record? That's unconstitutional in all means. And I guarantee you, if I pursue that state, because I'm going to ask that Attorney General, all this is recorded. I'm going to ask that. I'm going to put in a complaint on you. I'm fixing to put a hell of a fucking whoop ass on you people. Because you're deterring me from justice. I'm saying there was a crime was committed that I'm fixing to report. And you're telling me that I got to sign some paper that makes me legally bound not to make $1 off of this through some news agency or something like that? That's clearly what you're saying. And that's the intent that you're pushing, that I'm getting. And I do this on a daily. And you can tell by the way I talk. I have a lot of experience. If you think not, then, you know, I'm going to end this conversation real soon. You have my records request. I understand in 14 days that it should be processed, as per Officer Reyes. You're the Records Bureau Chief.
Officer Reyes does not process the records. We are currently 14 to 16 days.
Then what the hell part of the process was Officer Reyes? Was he a deterrence thwarting me?
No. So your request came in on the 16th. We are currently, so probably we've got another week. I can go look where we're at the 16th.
Do I gotta sign some paper to get a record? That's all I'm wanting to know.
Yes. It's pending. If that's what I'm saying, is that that's why I was making sure you have it so we could get your request taken care of, because I do show that we sent an email to you. Once the forms were completed, we'd be able to process it in the order that it was received.
Yeah, I probably seen it, and that probably caused me, you know, to bring me here today. Look here, I'm telling you, I'm going to go to the OIG, and I'm going to ask the question before I enlighten him.
Okay.
Who's pushing this narrative. But I'm going to tell you, this phone conversation ain't going to look too good. If it's not true, I might be on paper suing you. You, personally. I'm just telling you that this is damaging. What you're asking me to do is reveal who I am. I have every right to be anonymous in a records request. You know that, right? That's the root essence of the whole situation. I have total anonymity. I don't have to be known and so you're telling me I have to come out and disclose who I am in the flesh. That's what you're saying. Say again?
I have a signature.
Of who?
Whoever is requesting it, I have to be able to articulate to any court or any person who requested these reports.
That's you, but I'm telling you, you're telling me that I cannot file a record. You're telling me, now you're the Records Bureau, you're qualified to do this. Now, I know that you're not a big city, I understand that. But you're telling me that I cannot anonymously file a records request. You're telling me that.
That is correct, sir. We have to have a signature showing that you are not going to use this for
And that's the state law that you're pushing.
That is, yes. And if your the Cora, which is Colorado Open Records Act, your 2 CRSs are going to be 24-72-305.5, and the second one is.
You know, most of the time when people quote this, they'll know right away at the Attorney General's office, the records, they'll send me right to the right person. But you
They
know,
will.
I'm gonna say 85% of the time that people quote me state statutes like that, they're inadequate in their representation. You know that, right?
Fine. That's fine.
And well, that makes you liable, you know. And what's your name?
I'm not liable for how you're interpreting this phone call. I'm just telling you that this is one.
All right, Brighton,
state
Colorado.
statute per-
Hey, let me ask you this
per
here.
State statutes, per our policies and procedures, this is how we have it. Every person.
Hey,
that
what's
we
your
know
name?
Signs this form.
What's your name?
My name is Kerri.
Kerri. And now you got an employee ID number, Kerri?
I do not have an employee ID number.
Do you have some other? You're the Records Bureau Chief. What's your official title?
I am the records lead.
No, you're the senior overall person over the Records Department.
No, I am the lead. There are two people above me.
Oh, so where are they at in all this?
My supervisor is in meeting, and her supervisor is in a meeting. I can forward you on to him if you would like me to.
Well, I just want to know today, you're acting in good faith to the law now. That's all I want to know.
I am. 100% I am, because I'm not going to hold this. If this record is obtainable for you, I 100% am going to release that to you.
But I got to sign for it.
Yes.
That's unconstitutional. And that goes against my Fourth Amendment and my anonymity and all that stuff.
That's fine, sir.
All right,
that's
Kerri,
you respect
you're
that.
the lead. Thank you.
You're welcome.